Hey, it's Tuesday at 2 here at Circle B Diecast in Concord, North Carolina. Steve Post from Motor Racing Network. So glad you've joined us. Talking a little racing action from Charlotte Motor Speedway this past weekend and a whole lot more. So, neat stuff. Ray has jumped on as well, and good to have you here, Ray. That's a good question. We've been talking a lot about that here recently. And yeah, that's a great question, actually. I love when we get questions, okay? Robert, you got a good one too. So I'm going to go through the intro piece here and everything like that. Kyle, if we get a bunch of comments on that, remember these first two are great questions. And that's what I love. I love when we come bouncing right in and get into some good quality conversation, good quality content. So I want to set up with this though. Of course, Charlotte Motor Speedway, bleary-eyed, folks. I'm telling you, about 10 hours sitting in the rain on Saturday, another 10 hours sitting in the rain on Sunday doing nothing, and then was in the PA booth for, I think, 15 and a half, 16 hours yesterday. I'm wore out. But it's all right because I'm here working, and I'm going to Millbridge tonight. I'm going to sit in a PA booth up there and work a few more hours because I'm lucky at what I do. So I'm very fortunate at what I do, even though I'm wore out, tired, and ornery. So don't get on my wrong side here today. Don't get on my wrong side here. I'll come right through that camera right into you. But no, good stuff. And speaking of good stuff, okay, Ryan Blaney, young Ryan Blaney, YRB. Ryan Blaney picks up the win. Not only will we have, or do we have diecast, you can get pre-ordered, autographed race-winning diecast. Pre-ordered. Get that right now. Autographed race-winning Ryan Blaney diecast. Go to circlebdiecast.com, use the promo code Postman68, and we'll take a discount on your shipping. So there's one of them, okay? Another one, Friday night, Ben Rhodes. Bam! We've got Ben Rhodes, race-winning diecast. We get comments every once in a while. Why don't we have Truck Series? Well, people don't buy them, okay? You want Truck Series diecast? Buy Truck Series diecast. Here's a good one. Ben Rhodes, winner Friday night at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Now, we do not have Justin Allgaier yet. Well, the race just ended about 27 minutes ago. It only seems like that. We do not have Justin Allgaier yet, but he's Junior Motorsports. It's the first win for Junior Motorsports, and Justin Allgaier diecast sells pretty good. I would dare say that Justin Allgaier race-winning diecast will be made available. When it is, we'll shoot you a note on all of our social media channels, and you can get that pre-ordered as well. And again, Postman68 is the Postman68 is the promo code for your discount. So wild weekend, crazy weather, crazy stuff at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We rolled in there on Friday, ARCA Menard Series and Truck Series, and then we rolled on there Saturday, and we rolled out of there Saturday, and we rolled in there Sunday, and we rolled out of there Sunday, and finally Monday we got to see some more racing. So it is what it is. I think the Speedway, I think everyone did the best they could do. This was a storm that just parked and camped over the southeast. And non-racing fans are whining about it as much as us racing fans are. So Memorial Day weekend, and nobody could do anything outside. Okay, so there you have it. But, it just is what it is. But I think we got through it all right. And again, new winner this season with Ryan Blaney. All right, Ray, I love this question. Good afternoon. Respectful, love that as well. Especially I'm tired and I'm worn out, Ray. Why are Fords so far behind on performing? Ray, they did a nose change on the Fords during the offseason. Ford submitted a different nose on their race car, and in complete honesty, they haven't found the balance, the aero balance of the cars. I do a show called Crew Call with Todd Gordon. Todd, former crew chief for Joey Logano, won the championship with Joey Logano up at Team Penske. He's Jimmy Johnson's crew chief in their limited races now. But and we've talked about this. And we actually had this week's show, which will drop tomorrow, Brian Wilson, crew chief for the Wood Brothers, number 21 of Harrison Burton. And we know it's been a struggle over there. But he has indicated that they found something at a test at Charlotte, I think is what he said, with Harvick in the Ford camp, and they feel like they're starting to get their footing under them with these cars. The fact that Ryan Blaney won the race yesterday, not a bad sign. And that was a dominant car. So they figured it out. The fact that RFK Racing has been good, they seem to be on it. Harvick was in the back at one time. I looked up, he was running second at one time. Ryan Preece was up toward the front for a long time of it. So Ray, I think the reason they're performing is they still haven't found the balance. And the one thing I'm learning about this race car, man, oh man, you have got to be perfect. You have got to be flawless with this race car. And if you're not, you are looking like the Fords have looked some this year. So I think the new aerodynamic piece on the nose of the car did not do what they expected it to do, and they are putting their arms around it, and they feel like they've found something. So stay tuned. We'll see what happens. This weekend, by the way, is a good test because Joey Logano really ran well out at Worldwide Technology Raceway. So stay tuned. We'll see what the Fords do out there, but there is some light at the end of the tunnel with the Ford camp. So it's good. Yeah, it's not a horsepower thing. It's an aerodynamic and aerodynamic, but it's aerodynamic balance is what it boils down to. And getting that car, I am telling you, this car is so precise, Ray, so precise. And if you're not, especially with dealing with the Kyle Larsons and the Denny Hamlins and the Martin Truex Juniors of the world, if you're not precise and on money, you look like a 15th to 18th place car in an instant. So it is not a horsepower issue. It is certainly an aero balance issue on the race cars. Okay, great question. Really good stuff, Ray. I'm assuming maybe from the question you're a Ford fan. Stay tuned. I think there is optimism in the Ford camp. So fingers crossed. I don't think they're where they need to be. So I don't think we're going to see like a Ford sweep of the top 10 at Worldwide Technology Raceway this weekend. But, you know, I think that they're on the course to the promised land. Better race cars, a little bit faster race car. Great stuff. All right. Robert's question. Steve, when a race is delayed by a day and it changes from night to day, could or should NASCAR allow setup changes without any types of penalties? Robert, really, that's why I think they do the competition cautions. The challenge is this. Here's the challenge. The inspection process is long. It is a pain. So if we allow changes between when a race is postponed from 6 o'clock Sunday night to 3 o'clock Monday afternoon, then we've got to open up all the inspection process again. So I think that NASCAR, or I know that NASCAR doesn't want to do that and put the whole process in play again, where everyone's got to roll their cars around the garage area, and 5 hours later, we roll the cars out to the grid in the same order that we rolled them out before. So I think tech is one thing. I think that's why we have competition cautions, so the teams know, okay, this thing is evil. 30, 35 laps or whatever, 45 laps, whatever it is, competition caution, we're going to be able to come in and work on it. So I think they do that as far as that goes at all. Here's the other thing, and actually, Robert, I mentioned the Crew Call show. We had Brian Wilson on from Wood Brothers Racing. You, me, we're not the only ones that have weather apps, okay? So as the crew chiefs are working on final setups, it may not be in the front of their mind, but it's in the back of their mind that this might be a Monday afternoon race. So I think all of that kind of weaves together. The biggest thing I think is the not wanting to go through the inspection process again. But I think it all puts together, and that's the reason that I think we set it and forget it, basically, and we roll on into the race. So there you go. I love it. Ray, Robert, I love those questions. I really do. Somewhere we can roll up our sleeves and talk about things just a little bit. I'm very fortunate with what I do. I spend a lot of time in the garage area talking to crew chiefs and talking to people, and I hope you know if I don't know the answer to it, and I don't know that there's black or white answers on it. What I'm hearing in the Ford camp is that, and what I'm hearing in the inspection area is that. What I believe to be the case is that. And if I have no clue on it, I'll just sit here and tell you I have no clue. And but that's why I love having this forum so that we can come on and have these discussions and these conversations. So really, really good. I appreciate those questions, Robert and Ray. I love it, as a matter of fact. And I love one other thing. Okay, I had a weird dynamic this weekend. And if you follow me on social media, you saw I posted about this. I'm 58 years old. Okay. Sunday afternoon may very well have been the first time I've ever watched the Indianapolis 500. Just the way it is. When I was a kid, we would be in Canada fishing Memorial Day weekend every year. That was our family tradition. We did that. When I became an older kid, college, that sort of thing, whether it was college activities, I would always go to some local dirt tracks, Weedsport Speedway, Nazareth Speedway. Weedsport was upstate New York, Nazareth. There was always racing, and I would never sit and watch a race on TV when there was real racing to go to. So I did that. Moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, got involved with NASCAR. Coca-Cola 600 falls on that. So, and even I think one year, I think I even had a truck race or something like that I did. I think there was a Mansfield truck race that was Saturday, and but I never watched the Indy 500. And I might have flown home on Sunday afternoon. I remember, I vaguely remember driving past Charlotte Motor Speedway while the race was on or while the traffic was going or something. So I vaguely remember that. And then over the last few years, those of you that follow our sprint car stuff with Wing Nation, I've been at Port Royal Speedway. Well, back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, in the control tower, I made the decision that I was going to get there early enough, and I walked in 10 minutes before the start of the Indianapolis 500, and for the most part, watched the race. And by the way, Joseph Newgarden diecast, not race-winning stuff, just the standard straight-up car, is available for pre-order. I looked at CircleBdiecast.com this morning, and Joseph Newgarden, the winner of the Indianapolis 500, the 2023 car. And we do have we have a 1/64 scale older diecast of him that's in stock of Joseph Newgarden. And we will likely get the IndyCar one. My producer, Kyle, who knows more about diecast than every one of us on the planet, we will likely get the race winner. But if you want a Joseph Newgarden straight up diecast, it's a pre-order right now, but these IndyCar diecast, 1/18 scale is what the big ones are, 1/64 to the small ones. So we do have that as well. Keep an eye out as well. If you want the Indy 500 champion, Joseph Newgarden, you can get that diecast car. So love that. And I really enjoyed the Indianapolis 500. I thought it was great. I had people sending me notes like, I cannot believe that. My co-host on Wing Nation, Erin Crocker, used to race World of Outlaw sprint cars. She said, I don't know that I've ever missed watching the Indy 500. And I said, well, you're probably far more normal among race fans than I am, never seeing the Indy 500. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And if my schedule stays the same with Charlotte and the 600, especially next year if we get Larson up there running that Indy 500, ooh, mama, I may pop some popcorn. It might be that good. Oh, and when I pop popcorn, you know I'm invested in watching it. All right. I knew we were going to, and we're not going to start this, okay? We're not going to start it back and forth, okay? So Chip has a question, okay? We don't need to go back and forth. So just nip it. This is what happens on social media. Someone will offer something or a question, and everyone will say, what about this? What about this? The next thing you know, we're talking about Donnie Ellison and Cale Yarborough wrestling on the backstretch at Daytona, okay? No, seriously, that's what happens with this, okay? We had a dust-up yesterday. Chip's question on it. Do you think Chase's popularity, fan base, and so on plays a factor in the possibility of a suspension? We saw how hard NASCAR and Fox, push advertising for his return from injury. Chip, that is very, very fair. Chip, that is a great question. Stay tuned. This thing is messy, okay? There are a couple of things that I believe to be factual here, and it has nothing to do what Denny Hamlin and Chase Elliott did in those race cars, okay? I 100% believe that NASCAR does not want to be in the middle of this, because here's the reality of this. No matter what they do, a percentage of the fan base is going to be hacked off. They cannot do anything in this case that doesn't make them hacked off. I also, when you look at big sports, okay, we do replay in the NFL. Look, we're looking at automatic umpires, automatic strike zones in baseball. Leagues, sanctioning bodies don't want to be in the decision process. They don't want to be in making the calls. When you force them to do it, they're uncomfortable doing it. And that's where we're at with NASCAR. So I don't know what the result is going to be, but there's so much that factors into this that has not factored in before, okay? So first off, NASCAR does not want to be there, okay? We all understand that. Your question is fair. We had a promotional campaign and ratings went up when Chase Elliott returned. Now, does that factor in to the officiating of a race? I don't believe it should, but we don't know exactly what happened there. And here's the problem. If he doesn't get penalized, then everyone's going to accuse him of doing that. I don't know what goes into this. All I know is it's muddy, it's murky, and it's a mess. And it's made worse by the fact that we've got 62 angles. We've got Denny Hamlin tweeting every trace on his accelerator. We've got all of this and all of that, all great stuff. All great stuff, but it just makes it a bigger, muddier, murkier mess. And when we get done with this, if there's an announcement this afternoon, or if it's tomorrow, or if it's Thursday, there is a large population of the NASCAR community that's going to be hacked off. It's just it. I don't know. There's so much that factors into this, okay? Last year, Bubba Wallace, certainly not the most popular driver. Although, by the way, Bubba sells a fair amount of stuff. Okay, we can talk about the boo birds in the grandstands. There's also a lot of people wearing Dr. Pepper and McDonald's stuff and Columbia Outdoor stuff. So Bubba does all right. But from a booing perspective, Bubba is one of the most least favorite at the racetrack. Chase is obviously the most popular driver. That dynamic makes this interesting. The team owner for Bubba Wallace, who got suspended, is the driver that feels like he got taken out by Chase Elliott. Yeah, I mean, it's just it. And we go on and on. So we're going to have a decision. And a large percentage of fans, some your fellow fans, are going to be pissed off about the decision. And we're all going to wring our hands and scream and holler and say, but what about, but what about, but what about? That's the problem when you put any sporting event into the officials' hands. When you put a sporting event into the officials' hands, you make people make decisions, and we got to live with their decisions. That's exactly what it is. Exactly. Matthew, nip it. I told you. See that? We're already, okay? Kyle over here laughed. Kyle laughed when I said Cale and Donnie on the backstretch. We're already back to a gentleman and a racer that passed in 2001 in the second comment. But what about? I mean, that is in a nutshell. So, and I can tell Matthew to nip it because he's one of my sprint car friends. I'll tell him that in person. And I'll do the hands right in the face to him too next time I see him at a dirt track. So nip it. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. In Robert's point. Now I do agree with this. Racing stays like NASCAR and doesn't turn into a demolition derby. So I don't know what the answer is on this. You know, I mean, I don't. We talk about it. And all of us old people, we talk about respect and respect and respect. Okay. Drive down the road with a bunch of old people because they're flipping you the bird as much as anybody else is. I mean, go to the grocery store line where it says 10 or under, and the first person with 32 items is old. Okay, so it's one of those things where it's the world we live in right now. We are so blessed with technology that we can see super duper every angle of this thing, every trace of the accelerator, every trace of the steering wheel. What did Brad Keselowski see? What did he do? And everything like that. And all it does is murky and muddies the water. Somebody's going to have to make a decision. Somebody's going to be happy and somebody's not going to be happy. And we'll move on. And we'll have an awesome weekend. Matthew, nip it. I'm just kidding. Nip it. I just like doing that. I just like doing that to my friend Matthew. So, yeah, we're going to have a decision. People are going to be pissed off, and we're going to move on to Worldwide Technology Raceway Park. Going to be fun. And the Xfinity Series teams are out in Portland. Well, they're not out there now. They're probably still in Western North Carolina after getting done. Now we're up to 38 minutes ago. They got done with that Xfinity Series race. So it's going to be a big weekend, that's for sure, and lots to talk about, and it's going to be great. So Portland, Oregon for the Xfinity Series and ARCA West, okay, Worldwide Technology Raceway for the Trucks and Cup Series. That's where I'm headed to with Motor Racing Network, and I can't wait. And I really do love the conversation we had here today, okay? There are times we get on here and, when is Casey Kane's Farmers Insurance car going to be out? I have no idea. Okay, call the office. Okay, but I love when we have questions and conversations like we do, and I can tell a friend to nip it too. I like that too. So yeah, really enjoyed the conversation here today, and really appreciate everyone tuning us in here on our Circle B Diecast show. You know what you can do also? When this thing gets posted, okay, if you like this sort of forum and conversation, here's an idea. Share it with your friends. This is how, it used to be when you did a show. You used to have to advertise, and you used to go put billboards up, and you used to have to go do this and go do that. The cool kids these days are sharing it with their friends. So if you like what we're doing here on our Circle B Diecast show, when this thing gets posted again, and it'll save and then post to our site right after, it doesn't take long for that to happen, just share it and say, hey, had a good visit. Ray or Matthew or Robert, whoever, hey, had a good visit with the Postman. Good thought-provoking check with the Postman. Check this out. And share this a little bit. We can build this thing up. We can have a great time with it, that's for sure. And we always have a great time when we do our Tuesday at 2 visit. So fun stuff and fun stuff. Is there a chance to meet you at the night race at Atlanta? No, I'm not scheduled to be on the night race at Atlanta, Robert. I wish I was. I love going to Atlanta Motor Speedway, but I'm not on that race. We don't do Atlanta Motor Speedway, and we don't do Atlanta Motor Speedway. We do the truck series there, but I'm not on anything. I did the truck race in Atlanta earlier this year, but I'm not on anything coming up for the summertime night race. So we'll catch you somewhere down the road, that's for sure, and we'll catch everybody next Tuesday right back here. Circle B Diecast. Hey, if you have a question about NASCAR and you think about it Thursday at 3, jot it down and ask next Tuesday at 2. Let's make this a week-long process, so that if you think about something, don't just come on here and it slips your mind. Jot it down, put it in your phone, one of those little note things, something like that. Say, questions to ask the Postman on Tuesday at 2, and we'll get right back into it. So thanks for joining us, everyone, this week. More for all your diecast needs, go to www.circlebdiecast.com. I'm the Postman from Motor Racing Network. We'll talk to you again next week.